It is a Tuesday edition of Red Sox Now, all presented by FanArch, right here on YouTube. I'm Mike Antonellis, your host, as always. We're almost to 162 episodes, which would replicate, well, wouldn't replicate, but that's the baseball season. So we'll do something fun for 162. Make sure to follow me on social media at The Radio Mike. And if you could, either now or before you head out, if you could subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. We like that. Leave your comments. We'll read them as you see at the end. That will be the last thing on the agenda that we do. And I will respond to your comments all day. I'll try to. We're right in the postseason, thick of the postseason. I know we have guys and gals chiming in from everywhere. That's been pretty cool to see. People from all over the country, Red Sox fans everywhere. It's absolutely nuts, and we thank that. I like that. I like that we get people from all over. It's pretty cool. All right, Seattle rolled again. Their offense, I think that one thing I talked about in the offseason, there was so many rumors about Seattle trading a pitcher, and I get it. Their offense was very challenged. Seattle has had this. They've been really good building pitching, and they've missed some bats, and I think they addressed that. They got Abreu last year. They still struck out 14 times last night, but again, it doesn't matter. It's not linear. It's not. There's gray for everything. For their team, it's different because they hit home runs. They hit 3 last night, but they also have a lot of hitters. But you look at what they've done. They have struggled for years, Seattle, with offense. They did get Cal Raleigh in the draft, but you look at it in, of course, Julio, but Rosarena, Polanco, Naylor, Suarez, Robles, Crawford. They got 6 to 7 guys in their lineup that they had to go get. And I think that's why they were talking about maybe trading a pitcher, but I don't really know how serious they were. And it made no sense to me to ever get rid of Gilbert or Miller or any of those guys, even Castillo. I get it. Well, if you have, but it's you need abundance of pitching. And you've seen they've needed, as good as their pitching has been, they struggled with Detroit, but they didn't struggle last night. They have a 2-0 lead going back home. The Dodgers have been playing a lot of these kind of games. They win 2-1, and it's been for pitching. They go on the road and give up 2 hits. Snell goes 8 innings in a playoff game, 1 hit, 10 strikeouts. He was unbelievable. And, the Brewers, it was at that unbelievable double play turn in that game. But the Brewers got a leadoff double. They had a 1-out walk, then a double, and then Churio had a chance to walk it off. Sac fly, walk, and then Terang struck out to end the game. It was a thriller. I watched most of that on replay today, condensed game. Well, that was something else. But you see the difference in having arms. And that's why the Dodgers went out and got Snell, who's 3-0 in the postseason. For all the things about him. He doesn't pitch a lot. He's hurt a lot. Well, he's been probably their MVP, if you think about it. 3-0 with a .86 ERA in the postseason, and the Dodgers win tonight, then both road teams would have a 2-0 lead heading back home. It'd be interesting if it was a Seattle-LA World Series. You know how we complain about start times to accommodate the West Coast. They're going to be like, they're going to have to play every game at, during the week at 5 to accommodate us, which is horrific. I mean, in LA, I don't know if it matters for traffic, and I don't know if it matters anymore. I mean, it's a World Series. You can get there, but it's still not the ideal times for people who work, but I don't know. If you want to go, you can go, right? You'll make the necessary adjustments. I personally love it because if I was out there. Game getting done by 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's fantastic. So doesn't matter, for LA when the traffic is, but it's going to be interesting because all the start times would have to be, yeah. The World Series starts, let's see, Friday, October 24th. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, I continue to cut up. What do they call those people in court? I should know this. They transpose everything. I wrote out. I know there's a shortcut to doing this. I could have downloaded the transcript from the Red Sox end of season press conference, but I don't like to do things like that because I don't need all of it. And so I typed out all of the things. I watched it, hit pause, and Alex Cora lit up when they talked about Wilyer Abreu. I think we're doing this a lot. It's fine. I do it too. We all do it. We still are kind of treating players like the stock market. When our idea of them is what they just did. Think about it with Christian Campbell. He had a successful big league month. He's not played a lot of baseball. He had a bad month. He went down, handled it like a pro. And a lot of people are just done with him. But there's not many young guys. And we've seen a lot in this system. That's the thing that I always I caution people about because I've lived it, being in the system since '05 as a broadcaster. Mookie, Xander, Devers, Benintendi, they've just done this. That doesn't happen like that all the time. You're going to have setbacks. But Cora on Wilyer Abreu, we weren't the same without him in the lineup. He's a Gold Glove outfielder. And similar to Brian Bayo. And we'll get to Rafaela at another point. What you look for in young players, and he's still young. Look at Duran. Duran didn't start. A lot of you didn't want Duran a few years ago. He did not get off to a great start to his career because it's hard. It's hard for young players. He was, there was a point when he was in Worcester, we weren't sure what was going to happen with him. With Duran, that is. But Abreu just played 28 games in 23 and was successful. But that was just his second full year in the big leagues. Did the defense suffer? No. He's a Gold Glove outfielder. You need someone like that in right field at Fenway. Take out the injuries. Did he improve? I would say so. He hit more home runs in 17 less games. More homers, more RBIs. Still had a lot of strikeouts. I get it. But he still was only playing in his second full year. So if the bar now is, okay, second full year, if you're not an all-star, you're out, then we'll be disappointed as a group. It's not going to happen. Do we not think he could get even better? Yes. What signs would not point to that? He got better, I thought, this year. Average in the 250s, but listen, could he have hit 30 home runs this year? Would that have changed your mind? He played 115 games. He missed 47 games. Could he have hit 8 home runs in that span? Sure. Say it's only 6 and finishes the season 252 with 28 home runs, 85 RBIs, 25 doubles, Gold Glove right fielder. What are we talking about here? We're not replacing him, right? And who's to say? And you can certainly, he could get worse, but I don't see him trending in that direction. Can run a little bit. One of the best arms in the game. Gold Glove right fielder. He's got power. So I see why Cora thinks that highly of him. So I think maybe he gets hurt, wasn't the same when he came back. We're a little down on him, but I'm not. So I agree with Cora, completely on that. Let's go to third base. There's no other options to me. Alex Bregman was brought in to play third, never to play second. Was it handled poorly? Yes, probably. Breslow talked about it. He's a first-time executive. Alex Cora said on WEEI that he got to spring training early. I remember Cooper Boardman and I were listening to this live press conference on EEI. We were prepping for a game, and we wanted to hear what he said about Devers. And Cora said, I got to spring training early, tried to reach out to his team to talk, and they said no. And I never saw anybody write about that. And this, he said early January that they tried to set up a meeting. So, but whatever. I don't think this was ever going to go well, even if they approached it early. Because there's ego there. You're the guy. You got paid to be the guy, and you're bringing in someone for your position who's good, who's better than you defensively, who's a better leader, better with the younger guys. I don't know if that situation would have ever gone well, even if you handled everything the way you're supposed to in the book. So Bregman should get the Devers money, if not more, and I don't see any other scenario that makes sense. He is a Gold Glove third baseman. I don't care about his production at the end of the year. I don't care how old he is. That is a premium position that you cannot suffer at. Did Meyer play great third base? Absolutely. Do you want him playing third base every day right now? No, I don't. Offensive expectations of third base. He's a middle of the order bat. You like third basemen to have some power. I just think that you got to think pre-injury how good this guy was. And yes, being a leader and all of that matters to me. And I do, and I've said this from the start, they will get this done. I have no doubts about it. It makes no sense to bring him in, to offer him that kind of money with Boris, to get rid of Devers, and then to move on from him. They knew all of this was going to happen, that he'd opt out, that he has every right to. He hasn't officially yet, but part of opting out could be because of what's looming in 27, but it's not like any of this is a surprise, and I think his love for playing here. I mean, he loves playing here. He wouldn't have done all this stuff, in the community. I don't think he would, he went to Sam Adams and they have his own beer. He constantly, his social media, him and his wife constantly talking about how much they love. And I love it here. And I know money's money, but I don't think he would do that and just walk after 1 year. So, you know what you have, and that's always huge here. And he's a centerpiece. You won 89 games last year, and I just think that would be, and if it just got to the point where they got so ridiculous money-wise, where they were looking for 7 or 8 years at $40 million, yeah, then I'd walk away. But I don't think that's going to happen. So that's my option. I'm sticking to it. Let's get to your comments before we roll out. I'm getting a ton of these about Story to second base. At St. Paul Island, move Story to second. I'm going to disagree with all of you. I don't understand why this has been an overwhelming amount of comments saying this. You're going on how the season ended. He had some struggles throwing the ball. So what? Played a lot of games. He's an elite shortstop. And I'm going to tell you this. There's no pitcher on that team that would agree with that. He's elite. I don't know how Meyer's going to be at short in the big leagues. Odds are he'll be pretty good, but what's the sense of doing that? He's already really good at second base. So it makes zero sense to do that. He's not going to do it anyways. He did not want to do it that year, and he did it. But no, I'm keeping Story where he is. Story and Bregman on the left side, Meyer and whoever at first. That's fine. At Bravo 2_0. Too many strikeouts and lack of bunting skills hurt us. Yeah, it's situationally. The Red Sox were one of the worst in baseball with strikeouts with runners on base. So approach, but yeah, I mean, something that Alex Cora has talked about. He said it's not linear how to fix everything. They still were near the top of the league in runs scored and everything. But yeah, I agree with you. In the bunting skills, no one bunts, but some baseball people think that a lot of things are going to change. Playing the game the right way, base running, bunting, situational hitting has to come back because those are the teams that, the Dodgers actually do that really well. They were a pretty good situational hitting team and hitting the ball to all fields. I mean, Mookie's a king at that. At Michael Callan 801, I've never seen an offseason with objectives clear. Resign Bregman, yes. Sign free agent Alonso, trade for Ryan. Use a combination of Duran, Campbell, Tolley, password to get Ryan. Possibly. I still there's parts of me that, we just think these other teams are doormats, right? We don't know what Minnesota's thinking. Right? I mean, they might have no intentions of trading Joe Ryan. If you trade him or get rid of him, it puts you way behind the eight ball in a winnable division. That's the thing. Like I talked about yesterday, not everything is black and white. That's a winnable division. I mean, look what happened this year. That Cleveland team was not that good. They went on one run and won the division. They had one good month. That's it. It's not great to your fan base to just, and like they did last year, I mean, they junked their team, and then you get rid of him, and you're telling your fan base we're going to go with a rookie. Now, I'm just playing devil's advocate. A rookie who had one good month, who $60 million, which you're going to have to eat all of that. They're not going to pay that. A guy with one pitch, an outfielder who went up there and did nothing, and Duran, which some would like, some might not like. I don't think that would be a package. There's teams that could kill you, blow you way more than that, because there's still question. Duran's older. They can make question marks about all of that, all of those guys. Those are guys you want to give up, not maybe what they want. Breslow's talked about that. Teams have to like your players. You're going to have to give up more than that to get Joe Ryan. And Alonso wants a 7-year deal, and you'd have to give Ryan an extension. But I don't know if that's all. I like those ideas, but I don't know what Minnesota's thinking. I just know in that kind of division and what you did last year, and then if you get rid of him on top of that, you're not better. And I get the whole, well, we can't keep him anyways. Sure. But you need to get way more back. And the Mets have more than you do right now. They could give you 2 or 3 young pitchers. Sprout, that other kid that they called up. And they've got position players as well that have been to the big leagues. They could give you Beatty. They could be more. The Tigers wouldn't do it, but there are teams that have more, I think. And I don't know if the Red Sox want to give up Tolley. That's the other thing. We'll see. I think there's so many possible combinations this offseason, which makes it fun. That will do it for Tuesday. Make sure to subscribe on the way out. Follow me on my socials at The Radio Mike. We'll do it all again Wednesday. Red Sox Now is presented by Fan Arch. Enjoy the Dodgers Brewers tonight. They try to take a 2-games to none lead. And as always, go Sox.